are we? What, I mean, our degrees, our jobs, our friends, our families, where we live, an address. You know, people put meaning to a lot of things, and that's what builds our identity. When anyone introduces themselves, they're like, right after their name, they tell you what they do, or they tell you which college they're from, or whatever they want to lead with, if you know what I mean. And most of us are like, you know, that's the way we introduce ourselves. But who are you when all of those things are taken away? And that is the biggest question we've never had to ask, and hence never had to answer. So, in my opinion, I'll take you back in time with me. So when I was in Chicago during my first year in the hospital, I had some fantastic doctors who were, you know, doing, it was a very experimental surgery because I had 455 skull fractures, which is like literally like powder. So how do you put back a face? And that to a face that they had never seen before. So while these were pressing questions for me, I think one of the biggest things that gave me strength and made me feel less lonely was this: what can I do to focus towards building a better tomorrow? I mean, you need to envision that you're going to wake up tomorrow to another day, another 24 hours in which you can do something to better yourself or your life situation, or whatever it is that interests you or that you need to do. Now, that always gave me a sense of purpose, a sense of, what do I need to fix? And, you know, and I know it's extremely like, you know, it's a metaphor for life in a way, because in a sense, my face was smashed and broken. And so I had to, while they had to physically put me together physically, I had to put myself together emotionally and mentally and spiritually. And I had barely discovered my life yet. I was planning to go to college. I was planning to be a star. I was planning to, you know, run a business. I was planning to, I mean, I could have given you a laundry list, and just all of it just changed. And in a similar way, the pandemic has done this to everyone. So in whatever scale, everyone's suddenly like, oh my God, who am I? So the one thing, and this can be a consolation or perhaps something that people can start to think about accepting, is that in a way you're in this alone, but being alone and being lonely are two very different things. Okay, and this is something that I've always wanted to articulate, not just because of the pandemic, but always throughout my life and to even my close friends. I've said, like, this need to feel fulfilled by somebody else is actually not, I'm not saying other people are not needed, but I'm just saying that you should be able to look in the mirror and say, you know, this is okay. And in fact, like for me, my face was never given back to me. I lost it that day. I was given back something else to work with, which is what I have now, and which is something they built. But what I did was I constantly had a conversation with myself. I constantly had a conversation with accepting the new set of circumstances, with the new situation, which brought with itself a different set of opportunities. If you see with my life story and the background I've had, it's brought me to, say, meeting you today and having this conversation where I can hopefully impact a whole lot of people. So we all have a journey for a reason. And in terms of, like, I know I recently met someone who was actually pregnant during this time. And I think she was separated from her husband and, you know, had to go through the pregnancy in that bubble, feeling alone, which I definitely, you know, can, I mean, I don't have kids and stuff, but I'm just saying, like, I can definitely feel for her. But because she's used to that sort of contact. But why can we not look at this as an opportunity to learn to be everything to ourselves? Trust me, it is something that we should have done a lot earlier. It shouldn't have been a pandemic which has made it necessary for us to cope with loneliness, because loneliness, I feel, is often confused with being alone. And for example, like, even when you're alone, you have your thoughts, you have your plans, you have whatever you have around you, like your books or your piece of paper or creative instruments or your laptop or whatever it is that, you know, you use to work or to create art or to connect with people. So while you have all of that, it's not like you're debilitated, right? So so this is perhaps a good time to look inwards and think about the things that you left along the way. You know, because if we all look back and see, we came out of, you know, like when we were young, we had like 100 dreams. We've probably, you know, changed 50 of them, accomplished 30 of them, and hidden 20 of them. right? So what about pulling those out? And so rather than look for that instant gratification, which is always there in the normal world, where you can hug me and I can hug you and we can feel fabulous and then go out and go partying and enjoy going to, what is that famous place that you have in Delhi, Cyber Hub or something like that. It's I'm just saying, like, those instant gratification moments when we have, our partners or our friends, or we can celebrate in the traditional manner. But who says you can't do that in a non-traditional manner? I believe that there's a lot to be said about being self-reliant, being emotionally self-reliant. And I would argue that this is an excellent opportunity for people to understand that being alone is actually can be a good thing, because it's sometimes you need to block out the noise to see what you really want.